The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. In the deep black of space, a lonely station floated near the edge of the Orion Belt. It was small, only 4 people inside. They watched the stars, listened to signals, and reported any strange activity to the Galactic Union. Most of the time, it was boring. Long days. Long nights. Nothing happened. Until tonight. A soft beep echoed through the station. Lyra, the youngest crew member, looked up from her console. A red light blinked on the screen. Incoming signal. "Captain, you should see this," she said. Voice low. Captain Jorn walked over, yawning. He stared at the screen. It was not a normal signal. No ID tag, no origin, no rhythm. Just 3 words: "You have 90 days." Jorn frowned. "That's it?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, sir." Repeating every 2 minutes. Another officer ran a check. No origin found. "It's coming from deep space, past the outer spiral, past ... everything." A strange silence filled the room. "Record it," Jorn said. "And send it to Union Command, now." They didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of the end. 1 week later, Earth on Earth, things were normal. People went to work. Kids went to school. The cities were loud. The sky was blue. No one knew about the signal, except a few high-level leaders in the United Earth Command. A secret meeting was held in a bunker under Geneva. 12 generals sat around a table. In the center, a hologram of the signal played on a loop. "You have 90 days." General West, a tall man with gray hair, crossed his arms. Could be a prank. Maybe some lost probe bouncing signals. Dr. Hamid, a scientist from Mars Colony, shook her head. "No, sir, this isn't random, it's layered." Underneath the voice is data coordinates. "Coordinates to what?" West asked. "To a dead world," she replied. "A planet we don't have on our star maps, not anymore." Silence. Then. The room shook. Alarms rang. A voice spoke through the intercom. "Emergency alert. Outer colony Kestrel 9 has gone dark. No communication. Satellite feed lost." The general stood up. Earth's mood changed in 1 second. This was no prank. Galactic Union Council, high orbit humanity had joined the Galactic Union only 10 years ago. They were the newest member, the youngest, the weakest. Other species still didn't respect them much. Now, they were called to a council meeting on a giant space station. Aliens of all shapes and sizes sat in high chairs. The air buzzed with fear. A tall creature, all white and glowing, spoke. "I am Elreen of the Lightburn. We have seen this before. Long ago, before your kind crawled from the oceans." General West stood. "Who sent the signal?" Elreen replied. "They are called the Null Order. They do not speak. They do not feel. They consume stars, erase minds, turn planets into shadows." West frowned. "Why now? Why send a warning?" "Because it is not a warning, it is a countdown." The hall fell into silence. Then a red-skinned creature named Zool from the Stone Worlds stood. "We must prepare. We must fight." "No," said Elreen. "We must hide. The last time we fought them, 300 civilizations vanished. Only 12 remain now." Humanity's representatives looked at each other. "Hide from something we didn't even know?" West spoke again. "We won't hide. We'll send a unit to the coordinates." "Find out what's coming." Elreen stared. "You are too fragile. Your species is new. Brave, yes, but foolish." West smiled coldly. "Sometimes foolish wins wars." Back on Earth, Omega Black assembles in a secure base under Antarctica. A secret team was called. 5 humans entered a dark chamber. All wore black armor, different in design. Each moved like a weapon. They were Omega Black Earth's strongest unit. Each one was built, trained, and enhanced for war in space. Captain Raina Cross, tactical genius, former Mars Rebellion leader. Sergeant Brick, Mason, heavy weapons, 6 feet 8, skin reinforced with carbon layers. Kira Sun, infiltration. Expert, cybernetics in her brain. Juno, quiet, cold, and deadly. A former assassin, now loyal only to Earth. Axel Kane, the youngest, a telepath enhanced in a lab accident. Could read minds for 5 seconds at a time. General West stood before them. "You're being sent to a dead world," he said. "No. Backup, no rescue. The Union wants us to stay out of this." Captain Cross raised an eyebrow. "So we go alone?" "Yes. Find out who or what sent that signal. Find out what happened to Kestrel 9. And if needed, strike hard and fast." They nodded. Brick smiled. "Sounds fun." Departure. Mission begins. Omega Black boarded a small, fast ship. The Horizon Ghost. As the ship launched, Earth skies were calm, but the fear was spreading. People still didn't know the truth. News said communication issues and solar storms. But people felt it. Something was wrong. In the ship, the team sat in silence, watching stars rush past. Captain Cross broke the silence. "Anyone scared?" Axel laughed nervously. "Only completely." Juno didn't speak. She just checked her knives. Brick loaded his gun. "Let's make history." They entered deep space. And behind them, Earth watched and hoped. Arrival. The dead planet. 3 days later, the ship exited FTL, travel near the planet. It had no name. Just a number, PX-991. It was black. No sunlight, no heat, no atmosphere. Kira scanned the surface. "I'm picking up structures. Ruins, but no power, no life." Axel looked nervous. "I feel something, like something's watching." They landed. As the ramp opened, the cold hit them. Not just physical. Something deeper. Captain Cross stepped out first. Before them stood giant buildings, half broken, empty. Like a dead city. Kira spoke into her mic. "Activating scanners." Brick set up a perimeter. Juno walked off alone, scanning shadows. Axel touched the ground. "This place remembers pain, a lot of it." Then he froze. "What is it?" Cross asked. Axel looked up, eyes wide. "Something is under the city." Cross nodded. "We move in pairs, no one alone." "Kira, you're with me." They walked deeper. Into the ruins, the message below. Inside the biggest building, they found a tunnel leading down. Walls were covered in strange writing circles, lines, patterns. Axel paused. "This isn't a language, it's code, but alive." Kira touched the wall. It was warm. Suddenly, a whisper echoed. "You have 89 days. The team looked around. "Where did that come from?" Brick asked. No one knew. Then the ground shook. A low hum began. Lights, long dead, flickered. They found a chamber. In the center, floating in midair, was a black cube, smooth, silent, and pulsing. Cross reached for it. "Don't," Axel said quickly. "It's not a machine, it's a mind." Everyone froze. Then the cube spoke. "Your kind is not ready, we are coming." The lights went out. Back on the ship. They ran back to the ship, adrenaline pumping. Cross sent a message to Earth. "We found something, alive, we're sending data." But no reply came. Axel sat in a corner shaking. "I saw something in my mind. A shadow. It covered the stars. It's not a fleet, it's a wave." Juno finally spoke. "Then we fight the wave." Meanwhile, Union Council again on the space station. Elreen stared at the report from PX-991. "They touched the source," he whispered. A council member asked, "Should we evacuate the inner colonies?" "No, it's too late." He looked. Out the window, a nearby star blinked. 1 second it was there. Then it was gone, not exploded. Not dimmed. Just gone. Elreen closed his eyes. "The countdown has begun." The black cube's message echoed in every mind on board. "Your kind is not ready. We are coming." even though the ship's engines hummed softly and the walls stayed solid. The air inside felt heavier, like space itself was holding its breath. Inside the Horizon Ghost, the 5 members of Omega Black sat quietly. No one spoke for a full minute. Captain Rena Cross broke the silence. "Mission's not over," she said firmly. "We keep moving." Sergeant Brick Mason grunted. "Whatever that cube was, it looked like it wanted to crawl into my skull." Kira. Sun checked her systems. "The code from the cube is in the ship's databanks. I'm going to isolate it, but I don't think we should connect it to anything." Axel Kane sat with his eyes closed, breathing slowly. "You okay, Kane?" Cross asked. He nodded slowly. "I saw something. When we touched that cube, it showed me a world. No stars, no life, just cold. A black sea that never ends." Cross stood up and looked around the crew. "We're not done yet," she said. "We found a dead world and a warning. Now we find answers." Omega Black's mission briefing. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It was General West. "Patched in from Earth. We received part of your message," he said. "Good work. But you triggered something." He looked tired, pale. "Happened, sir?" Cross asked. The general took a breath. "An entire moon vanished near Delta Quadrant. Gone." Our satellites picked up a faint ripple, then silence. Juno, the quietest of the team, finally spoke. "The null order?" West nodded slowly. "Yes, and the Union blames us for waking them up. They're preparing to abandon outposts. They told us not to go further, but we're sending you anyway." Cross frowned. "Where?" "To a Union planet called Thalos Prime," he replied. "It's close to the last signal the cube sent. The locals think it's cursed. Why us?" Brick asked. West's face hardened. "Because the Union won't fight. They're scared. And someone has to find out what these things want." He leaned closer to the camera. "Omega Black, this is now a Black Ops mission. No rescue. No backup. Earth is counting on you. The galaxy doesn't believe in humans. Prove them wrong." The hologram blinked off. Omega Black in transit. The Horizon Ghost jumped into FTL, heading for Thalos Prime, while stars turned into streaks inside the ship. Tension grew. Axel sat alone in the medbay, watching the cube's code on a screen. The numbers moved like water, always shifting, always alive. "It's not just a message," he muttered. "It's thinking." Meanwhile, Brick trained in the gym, punching a steel dummy into pieces. Kira cleaned her weapons. Every piece polished. Perfect. Her hands shook just a little. Captain Cross stood by the viewing port. She stared at the stars. "Why now?" she whispered. Juno appeared behind her. "You feel it too," she said. Cross nodded. "Yeah, like we're walking into something we're not meant to see." Arrival, Thalos Prime. When the ship exited FTL, the view made everyone stop. Thalos Prime was burning. The sky was red. The planet was cracked, like a glass ball dropped from space. Fires raged across the surface, but it wasn't new damage. It was old, like the planet had been dying for years. "Scans show no life," Kira reported. "But faint energy spikes. Maybe underground." "Land us in the clear zone near the equator," Cross ordered. They descended into a field of black ash. As they stepped onto the surface, the sound of their boots crunching was the only thing heard. "Keep helmets sealed," Cross said. "Atmosphere's toxic." The wind blew dust into the air, dust full of metal and something else. Something wrong. Ruins of Thalos. Team moved carefully through broken ruins. Huge stone statues stood half melted. Writing covered the walls. Lines, dots, and circles. Kira scanned them. Same as PX991. Same code patterns. Brick pointed at the sky. "Sunlight's wrong. That star is too dim." "No," Axel said softly. "It's scared." Cross turned. "A star can't be scared." Axel looked at her, eyes glowing faintly. This one is. They moved deeper into the ruins, down into what looked like a temple. Inside, silence. Then, Juno found it. A giant wall carved from black crystal, and on it, images, civilizations, thousands, all slowly swallowed by a wave of darkness. At the end of the carving, one image stood alone. Earth. And under it, final error, to be corrected. Underground, the survivor suddenly. A weak signal hit Kira's scanner. Life form detected. Underground, weak. They blasted open a sealed door and entered a lower level. Lights flickered. The smell of rot filled the air. Inside a containment chamber, they found something. A creature barely alive. Tall, thin, skin like silver metal. An alien unknown to any database. It opened its eyes slowly. You are late, it whispered. Cross knelt beside it. Who are you? I was a guardian. Of knowledge, of warnings. Too late to matter now. What happened to this world? Kira asked. The alien coughed. The null came. We tried to hide. Buried our minds in crystal. Didn't work. Axel leaned in. Why Earth? Why is our planet marked? The alien shivered. You are the error. The line they missed. Your kind is not in the design. You are off script. Cross frowned. Off script? They erase anything they can't control. The alien's eyes flickered. Run. Then it stopped breathing. Trap triggered suddenly. The walls lit up. Symbols glowed red. Move. Cross shouted. A loud tone rang out like a scream made of machines. The room trembled. Outside, machines rose from the ground, floating orbs, black with red veins. One fired a beam. Brick raised his shield and blocked it. Contact. We've got hostiles. The orbs moved fast, too fast. Juno threw knives, slicing two in half. Kira hacked one mid-air, turning it against the others. Cross-fired controlled bursts, moving with expert precision. Axel grabbed his head. I hear them. They're angry. They see us as a glitch. Can you shut them down? Cross yelled. Axel nodded. Buy me 30 seconds. Last stand in the ruins. Battle was fierce. The orbs tried to block exit paths. Cross led the fight back toward the surface. Brick carried the alien's body. Kira kept firing, reprogramming every drone she could. Then Axel screamed, eyes glowing. Bright blue, shut down. He shouted. A pulse of psychic energy blasted out. The drones froze mid-air, then fell to the ground. Lifeless. Silence. Then the sky cracked. Not thunder. Something had entered orbit. Cross looked up. It's here. The enemy arrives above the ruins. A shape blocked the stars. Not a ship. Not a station. A hole, a black spot in the sky. Null signature confirmed, Kira said. It's watching us. Axel fell to one knee. It knows our names. It's writing US into its memory for deletion. Brick loaded a fresh clip. Then we give it something to remember. Cross open comes. To Earth. Omega Black has made contact. Null presence confirmed. Thalos Prime is lost. We are pulling out. Kira. Hit the engine call. We need 90 seconds to launch. Make it 60, Juno said. Planting a mine near the ruins. Escape and reflection. The team boarded Horizon. Ghost and launched. The black shape above didn't move. Didn't fire. Just watch. Axel shivered. It learns. It wants to see what we'll do, Brick growled. Let's give it hell. As the ship left orbit, Juno's mine exploded. The temple collapsed into flames. No reaction from the shadow. It simply faded. As if it had never been there. Back in space. The ship moved into deep space again. Captain Cross sat in silence. We're not fighting machines, she said. We're fighting something that rewrites reality, Kira nodded. And Earth is next. On the script. Axel looked up. No, we're not on their script. That's the problem. Cross stared into the void. Then it's time they learn we don't follow scripts. The horizon ghost flew through the darkness of space. No stars. No signals. No light. Just silence. Captain Raina Cross stood at the front window, arms folded. The galaxy, once alive with energy, now felt empty. Behind her, the crew sat quietly. Each of them had faced war, death, monsters, but this was different. This felt like waiting to be erased. Axel breaks the silence. Axel Kane sat alone in the med bay. He stared into a black monitor, the cube's code still running across it. He had stopped blinking. The numbers were moving faster now, faster than before. Suddenly, the screen blinked white. Axel gasped. A voice echoed through the ship's comms, but it didn't come from the speakers. It came from inside his mind. Error. Pathway rejected. Correction must begin. He fell to the floor, shaking. Kira rushed in. Axel! He looked up. It knows we're not part of its plan. Juno stepped in behind her. Then why hasn't it erased us? Axel answered, voice shaking. Because it's curious, we confuse it. It wants to understand us before it deletes us. The ghost planet back in the command room, the ships. Vera beeped. Captain, the AI said. A distress beacon has been detected. Source, Union Research Vessel Designation Helix Ray. Planet, Mornas 12. Cross frowned. That's a dead planet. It was abandoned 20 years ago. Signal is live, Vera said. Brick cracked his knuckles. Trap? Juno nodded once. Or bait. Cross made a decision. Set course. Omega Black doesn't ignore distress calls. Not even now. Landing on Mornas 12. The ship landed quietly in the dead valley. Ash fell like snow. The ruins of the research base stood broken. Half the buildings were crushed. Metal twisted like it melted and then froze mid-screen. As the team stepped out. The silence hit hard. No wind. No sound. Not even static. Axel whispered. This place is too quiet. Kira scanned the air. No comms. No life signs. But the beacon is still active, 100 meters underground. Cross nodded. Let's go. Inside the base, they descended into the base. The hallways were dark. The lights flickered, but didn't die. Shadows danced across the walls like they had lives of their own. The walls had marked scratches, like claws. But not from animals. From hands. Human hands. They reached the main lab. And found them. Bodies, dozens, frozen, eyes open, mouths open, not burned, not poisoned, just stopped. In the middle of whatever they were doing, one held a scalpel. Another had a spoon halfway to his mouth. All paused in their final moment. Axel walked among them, heart racing. They weren't killed. He sighed. They were paused. Brick touched a wall, or silenced. The surviving log. Kira accessed the last recording on the lab computer. A hologram played. A woman in a lab coat, terrified. They said we could study the null tech safely, she said. They were wrong. Behind her, something moved. The lights flickered. She looked behind her and then froze mid-sentence. Her mouth hung open. Her eyes stayed wide. The log ended. Axel wiped sweat from his forehead. It's not death. It's deletion. The null. Remove you from time, like you never finished the sentence. Contact. Suddenly, the lights turned red. A siren started. Not loud. Just 3 beeps. Beep. Beep. Then a voice. But it wasn't human. Not machine. It spoke in a flat tone, emotionless. Correction begins. You were warned. 88 days remain. The floor beneath them shook. Move. Cross shouted. The thing that came. A figure stepped into view. Not fast, not loud. Just there. It looked like a shadow given shape. No eyes. No face. Just a tall, thin body made of black mist and tiny red sparks. Axel stepped back. It's not real. Or maybe it is. I can't tell. Brick raised his weapon. Real enough. He fired. The bullets passed through. The shadow didn't move. Then it opened its arms. The lights exploded. Fight in the dark. The team switched to night vision. 3 more figures appeared, same as the first. Cross gave quick commands. Don't engage, fall back. Juno threw flash charges, slowing them. Kira triggered a counterpulse through the bases. Systems. The shadows flickered. Then one touched a wall. The metal turned to dust. Axel gasped. They're not killing us, they're unwriting us. Turning matter back to idea. Brick fired a grenade. The wall behind the shadows blew open, just enough for escape. Return to the ship. The team sprinted back to Horizon Ghost. Inside, the AI. Vera had locked all systems. Unauthorized anomaly detected, Vera reported. Shutting down primary channels. Override, Cross shouted. Code Omega Black 01. Systems are EBOOTD. The ship lifted off. Below. The research base sank into the ground. As if it had never been there. As if it never existed. Aftermath. Shaken and changed back in orbit. No one spoke. Brick stared at his hands. I hit it. I know I did. But there was nothing to hit. Kira whispered, we're not fighting an enemy. We're fighting an idea. Axel leaned forward. We're not supposed to understand it. That's the point. The more we try to make sense of them, the more we lose ourselves. Juno looked at Cross. What's the plan? Cross stared at the stars. We find a way to hurt them. If they can delete us, we need to prove we can exist louder than they can erase. A message from the void. As the team rested, the cube on Axel's screen glowed again. It spoke, different this time. Less robotic. Almost curious. Why? Do you fight? It asked. Axel replied. Because we're not done. The cube went dark. Union. Transmission intercepted and encrypted. Union. Message came through. Cross opened it. An alien voice whispered. The null wave is growing. 2 more systems gone. The Union will not fight. They will close their gates and let you die. She turned off the message. Brick snorted. So much for all eyes. Cross stood. We're not waiting for help. Earth still breathes. We still stand. That's enough. End hook. The star that screamed the final scene showed a Union outpost near a blue star. Single guard walked the perimeter. Suddenly, the sky turned red. He looked up. The star began to scream. Not a sound, but a vibration that crushed everything. The guard dropped to his knees. Then the star disappeared. Gone. Just like the others. And in the silence, a whisper. 87 days remain. 87 days left. That number was now burned into every mind on Horizon Ghost. On the command deck, no one spoke as the countdown flashed on the side screen. The numbers didn't tick every second, only every few hours. As if the universe itself was breathing slower. Captain Cross sat still, staring at the code Axel had pulled from the null ruins. It had changed. Again. A message from the cube in the medbay. Axel sat watching lines of glowing text. His eyes didn't blink. His lips moved, but no sound came out. Kira entered the room. You've been here for 6 hours. I'm talking to it, Axel said. Talking to what? He looked at her. The code. Kira raised an eyebrow. That's just symbols. Not anymore. He turned the screen toward her. Words had appeared clear and simple. ERROR 17. Observing deviance. Human response is unique. Why is it watching us? She asked. It doesn't understand, Axel replied. It wants to know why we keep going. Then, a new line appeared. Come to the source. Learn why you were not meant to be. Axel whispered. It's calling us. The source coordinates back in the briefing room. The team gathered around. Cross placed the location on the holomap. It's called the Dead Expanse. No stars, no planets, no physics. Union maps mark it as off limits. No probes come back. Brick leaned forward. So we go straight into nothing? Axel nodded. The source isn't in space. It's in the layer below it. Kira frowned. You're saying it's not a place, it's a code space. Yes, Axel said. Where the rules of time and matter are written before they reach. Isayuno, calm as ever, whispered, so we're going into the mind of the enemy. Cross nodded. Suit up. If this is where the null come from, then maybe it's where we end them. Entering the expanse, the Horizon Ghost reached the edge of the expanse. On the outside, it looked like a black cloud with no stars. As they approached, the ship's instruments began failing. No signals, Kira said. No gravity, no light. It's like space stops here. Vera, the ship AI, flickered. Captain, I am not myself. Data stream is corrupted. Then, for the first time, Vera spoke in a different voice. Not her own. Not human. Not machine. Just a whisper. Welcome, Omega Black. Enter, understand, erase yourselves. Inside the void code, the ship passed through the black wall. Instantly, the stars vanished. Even the inside of the ship looked wrong, walls bending slightly. Colors shifting. Juno whispered. I can hear the lights humming. But they're not on. Axel stood up. We're inside their version of reality, their code. Suddenly, the crew was no longer on the ship. They were standing in a white space, endless, silent. Around them, shapes formed and vanished, cities, people, stars, then gone again. Are we still alive? Brick asked. Sort of, Axel replied. This is where ideas live before they become real. Then a voice came from nowhere and everywhere. You are glitches, born of chaos. You are not part of the stream. The test. A tall figure appeared, not made of flesh but of light. It had no face, only eyes. Millions of them, blinking in every direction. You fight to live, it said. But your species is unstable, violent, loud. Cross stepped forward. That's called survival. The voice replied, survival is noise, you are noise. Then everything changed. Suddenly, Omega Black was back in Earth's orbit, but it wasn't real. Just a copy. Watch, the voice said. The simulation showed Earth from above. Then the sky turned black. Cities vanished. Oceans froze. The null erased the planet in seconds. Axel looked away. Stop it. The voice spoke again. Prove your world deserves to exist. Choose one to delete, and the others may return. A screen lit up showing each team member's face. Cross, Brick, Kira, Axel, Juno. One must go. Erased from time. Pick. The refusal. Brick growled. I'm not playing this game. Kira stepped forward. Delete me then. I won't be part of this test. Axel grabbed her hand. No, that's what it wants. Division. Juno drew her blade. It's not asking for proof. It's looking for weakness. Cross turned to the sky and shouted, we're not deleting anyone. We all go back or none of us do. The simulation paused. Then the white space cracked like glass. The null voice sounded. Confused. Error. Unity detected. Cannot process. Breaking. The pattern. Axel shouted. Now, think of something. Anything real. Kira focused on the Horizon Ghost. Brick imagined Earth sky. Juno closed her eyes and thought of wind. Trees, the sound of birds. Cross whispered, home. The white void shattered. Pieces of light flew everywhere. Reality twisted. Suddenly, they were back on the Horizon Ghost, alarms blaring. Kira checked the systems. We're free. Axel shook. No. Not free, marked. A final message flashed on screen. You do not follow pattern. You are threat. Correction will be total. 86 days remain. The debrief later, Cross spoke to Earth Command. General West was shocked. You survived contact with the source? He asked. Cross nodded. It showed us a future. Tried to make us erase each other. Why? Axel stepped into view. Because we confuse it. We choose each other, even when survival says not to. General West looked away. The Union wants to surrender. They think resistance is suicide, Brick grunted. Then let them stay quiet, Juno whispered. We are the noise now. Closing scene. The Whisper network far away, in the black between galaxies. A network of null nodes pulsed red. They shared data faster than light. And one by one, across countless systems, Earth's name appeared. A whisper passed through all of them. Awaken total erasure. Begin pattern wipe. 86 days remain, the countdown. Burned like fire in every mind aboard the Horizon Ghost. Captain Cross stood in front of the team. Every world we've contacted says the same thing, she said. Run, hide, surrender. Her voice was cold steel. We won't. Hook, the impossible blueprint. Axel Kane placed a small cube on the table. This, he said, shouldn't exist. Kira leaned forward. Where did you get it? Axel's hands trembled. From the source, when we broke out. Something stayed with me. A code. I've been decoding it ever since. Juno asked, what is it? Axel clicked the cube. A hologram appeared, not a weapon. Not a star map, a machine but not built by humans. Not by Null either. This is a forge, Axel said. A builder of realities. It can write space, rewrite time, bend matter. It creates ... physics. Brick crossed his arms. You're saying it builds the rules of the universe? Axel nodded slowly. Or breaks them. The team stared at the image, then Cross spoke, let's build one. The council laughs. They brought the plan to the Union Council. The hologram hovered above a long table of alien diplomats and scientists. Axel presented every piece of code, every theory. We found this blueprint inside the Null's origin space. He explained, this forge is their weak point. It shapes their world before it becomes real. An alien scientist scoffed. You expect us to believe a human survived direct contact with the code layer? Another diplomat added, even if this forge exists, it would take the energy of a star to power it. Brick cracked his knuckles. Good thing we have one nearby. Captain Cross leaned forward. You said humans don't understand the universe. Maybe that's true. But we're very, very good at breaking the rules. The room fell silent. The council didn't approve. So Cross stood up, turned, and walked out. She never looked back. Who is the pattern keeper? Later, Axel gathered the team. The pattern keeper is the force behind the Null, the original architect of their code. He pointed to a hologram of a dark spiral galaxy. Not a machine, not a being, but a living pattern. A consciousness made of code and energy, older than the stars. Juno frowned. How does something like that exist? Axel shook his head. We don't know. But it controls reality at the deepest level. Cross asked, what does it want? Order. Axel said, the Null were its tools to fix chaos. But humans, we break patterns. We bring noise. It hates that. Brick growled. So it wants to erase us? Axel nodded slowly, or reshape us, into something it can understand. The first warning suddenly, the ship's instruments went wild. Screens flickered. The countdown paused. Cross saw a message appear. You are outside the pattern. Return or be unmade. The voice was cold. No emotion. Vera added, it's reaching through the code, trying to change us. Cross clenched her fists. We won't go quietly. Echoes of the past. Axel worked feverishly. He showed the team a fragment of Null history encoded in ancient data. The Pattern Keeper was once a civilization. One that became so obsessed with control. It merged with its own machines. Its mind dissolved into pure code. Now, it exists as the galaxy's ultimate program, a force beyond life or death. The warning ship A signal arrived. A tiny ship, ancient and battered. Its pilot was human old and weary. She called herself Mara. I was sent to warn you, Mara said. The Pattern Keeper. It's waking. And it will consume everything that breaks its order. Cross asked, why didn't the Union warn us? Mara's eyes were sad. They're afraid. They want to surrender to save what they can. Brick snarled, then we'll fight harder. The plan the team gathered in the war room. Axel proposed a risky idea. We can use the forge to send a message, a signal of pure human will. A pattern of chaos that disrupts the Keeper's control. Kira looked doubtful. What? If it makes things worse? Cross smiled grimly. We don't have a choice. If we do nothing, we're finished. The signal they prepared the forge. Axel worked with Mara to code the signal. It was wild and beautiful, random colors and sounds. Impossible math, emotions all mixed. When they sent it, the ship shook. Outside, the stars flickered again. But this time, some stars brightened. The Pattern Keeper responded. The dark response suddenly. A black wave spread through space. It swallowed stars. It bent reality like paper. The Null Fleet reappeared stronger, faster, and more alive. Cross yelled, prepare for battle. The battle begins. The crew fought fiercely. But the Null were different. Now more than code. They had will. Axel shouted. The Pattern Keeper is giving them power. Juno darted through the fight. She cut down Null ships with blades made of pure light. Brick blasted enemy fighters. Kira hacked Null systems, sending viruses back. Cross coordinated with calm fury. The turning point. The forge began to glow brighter. Axel shouted, it's reacting to human spirit. It's learning. Cross smiled. Good, let it learn. Closing scene. The Pattern Keeper watches far away, beyond the stars. The Pattern Keeper stirred. Its voice echoed in the dark. Double quotes noise. Chaos. Defiance. You may break my rules, but I am the pattern behind all things, and I will rewrite you all. 83 days remain. The silence in the horizon ghost was heavy. Captain Cross stood by the window, staring at the starfield. The Pattern Keeper's shadow was everywhere. Hook, the last choice. Suddenly, the ship's alarm blared. A message flashed on the main screen. Surrender, be rewritten, or be erased. Cross's voice was cold. We don't surrender. Axel tightened his fingers on the console. We have one shot. The forge is ready. Preparing for war, the crew worked fast. Axel programmed the forge to become a weapon, not of destruction, but of creation. Kira and Juno loaded it with the human code chaos. Hope, love, fear, all the things the Pattern Keeper feared most. Brick checked weapons. We'll show them why humans survive. Cross nodded. The arrival outside. The Pattern Keeper appeared. Not a ship, not a being, a giant swirl of code and light. Shifting like a storm. Its voice thundered. You defy the pattern. You threaten order. You will be rewritten. The battle of codes. The forge released the human code. Colors exploded in space. Patterns clashed. Time bent. Stars blinked on and off. The Pattern Keeper sent waves of rewrite, trying to erase the forge. The human code fought back. Axel shouted, keep it steady. Don't let the pattern close. The human spirit. Cross felt something inside her break open. Fear. Hope. Anger. Love. She shouted orders. Hold the line. Fight for every second. Juno's blade shone bright. Brick's cannons roared. Kira's viruses spread like wildfire. The turning point. The Pattern Keeper faltered. It never expected emotion. The chaos of humanity. Axel smiled, exhausted. It's breaking. Cross's eyes burned. We're not just fighting for survival. We're fighting to rewrite the universe. The final choice. The Pattern Keeper's voice softened. Accept rewrite, or face ruin. Cross stepped forward. No. We choose our own path. She pressed the forge's final command. A burst of light filled space. Aftermath. The Pattern Keeper shattered. Not destroyed. Changed. The galaxy felt alive. New stars were born. Time flowed freely. Cross looked at her team. We did it. We survived. Axel nodded. Because we are human. Closing scene, the countdown stopped. 0 days remain. Cross whispered, "The galaxy is ours to write now." The stars blinked, waiting for what humanity would create next. The end.